My name is Devin Smeargle123, Devin123, or Mario 5000, and this is the draft review for PDL Division 2, Season 3. So this is a normal draft league. Well, it's not normal actually. Well, cut moves are banned and shit, but it's like a GBA tiering system. The good megas cost you some hefty change. A tier 1 mega costs you 60 extra points out of your starting 400. A tier 2 mega costs you, I think, 20. Let me look at the list again. Give me a moment here. A tier 2 mega costs you 40 points. A tier 3 mega costs you 0. And then you gain points 20 for a 4 and 60 for a 5. A tier 5 mega, which, there's some good megas here. Even though cut moves are banned, I actually think Manectric's pretty decent. It's usable anyway. Actually, no, never mind. Signal Beam's gone. Anyway, yeah, I picked, I want to say, 6th. Well, let me see. Yeah, I picked 6th. And there was some spicy stuff on the board. I really wanted Protean Greninja to make it to me like I had last season. But, didn't work out that way. It got picked first overall. And then Gardevoir went, which only cost the guy 40 points. You know, you really want to use something, you'll grab it, I guess. And then I believe Torn T went 3rd, Dragapult 4th, and Jirachi 5th. So I was left with the sad, humble, unfortunate situation of picking Libero Cinderace. As you remember, I picked this in XPLA Season 5, and I traded it for Victini. I actually did better once this Mon was off my team. I liked using this thing. I just wanted to use Victini pretty badly, so... Right, actually, I dangled it out there for somebody to take, and the first offer I got was for Victini, so I was like, I'll take it, you know. Want to use Victini, haven't used that thing in a long time. But yeah, this Mon's obviously banned, like, pretty much everywhere now, just not here. It's Protean, it has Protean, it's basically Greninja, probably, arguably worse. I think it's a little bit worse because it can't go mixed as easily. But still, the speed, it's like a little bit slower, and it doesn't get, it doesn't get hazard support, but it does get court change, which is pretty fucking good. But yeah, well, I guess it better has, but it also has setup options, so, like, it can set up bulk ups, and so that kind of, and then it has decent priority, so it's, like, debatable which is better between this or Greninja. Water Shuriken's obviously really good, but Stab Sucker Punch is stronger. Well, it can be stronger, it's debatable. Anyway. I picked this Mon because there was, like, you know, there was a nice, healthy, like, supply of good shit there. I could have gotten one of the Mega Lotties with this pick, and I would have probably been, like, a schoolgirl with Mega Latios on my team, because that is my favorite Mega ever. I love that thing so much. Yeah, but, and then I was, like, looking at, there was another tier 1 I was looking at. I guess Lando. I was looking at getting Lando T, any of the Tapus that are illegal, that are there, and then Bulu is tier 2, yeah, so I was thinking of getting, like, I was thinking about getting Coco with this pick, but in the end I went with Cinderace because it's the most broken, and I want to use it again because I'll rarely have a chance to, so, yeah, round 2, I was extraordinarily shocked and appalled that this Pokemon was still there for the taking, and it kind of broke me as a man. I got Rillaboom with my next pick. These two together find me a check to both of these Pokemon, and I will probably give you Reddit Gold, but I won't because I want to spend my money on things that actually matter to me. Yeah, the speed tier is really good, and obviously it's a fucking Rillaboom. Look how, like, this thing's really fat. Pop an Assault Vest on it, pop a Choice Band Grassy Glide with Surge Up, and then, like, half a team can just die. Yeah, the only really good thing that checks these is, like, a good bulky fire type, and then obviously this thing gets stopped by birds pretty handily, and I don't really have the best bird switch-ins on this whole draft, so, but yeah, I grabbed this because it just hits like a fucking truck, and, like, I just saw it was there, and I was really, really surprised, because there's 24 people in this draft. I picked 6th, so in between me getting Libero Cinderace and it coming back to me, there's 36 picks, and that's insane. So I just got Rillaboom and Cinderace, and then round 3 I got the tier 2 Keldeo. So yeah, my first 3 picks are pretty good. Keldeo is really strong. It's a very, very nice special breaker, and it helps those bulky fires that these two have problems with. Stuff like... well, no, actually not really Heatran. Stuff like Moltres and Chandelure can potentially be annoying to both of these. If I run Banded, fucking Rillaboom, not Chandelure, am I retarded? Fucking... what was it? Sorry. Chandelure, not Chandelure, holy fuck. Well, anyway, just Moltres as an example. This thing helps destroy that, but it can't switch into its Flying Stab. Yeah, it hits like a truck, deals with the fire types that these two struggle with, and, yeah, momentum with my first 3 picks being, a nice thing that I have. So that's good. Yeah, this thing just hits really hard. Good momentum, the speed tier is great, and, it has a good support move pool, surprisingly enough. Being just taunt, but still. Next up we got Florges. I wanted to get a fairy, and I shouldn't... I mean, with cut moves banned, I don't know if this thing's a tier 3, personally. I still think it should be a tier 2. I just think it's really bulky, and, like, its support is amazing. It's a cleric. It can self-heal with synthesis, so it doesn't need to wish pass, which I think is actually a really, really strong trait that this has over stuff like, not Aromatisse, stuff like, Sylveon, and, Slurpuff. And other wish passing fairies. Aromatisse is the other main example, I guess, and Togekiss. But Togekiss has self-healing, so Togekiss is a much better Pokemon than this. Yeah, but the Spadef is really good. You can pretty much just always run a Fizdef spread, and still be naturally good against special hits, or if you really, really, really don't want to deal with a special threat. Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, very, 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 very fat Pokemon, and it gives me my first... Well, actually, no, I have a Court Change Cinderace, but this gives me my first real hazard removal, I guess. So that's nice. Again, wish support, and then I wanted to get something next with my... Obviously, you can see what it is, but I wanted to get something that complemented well with this, and I really didn't know what Mega I wanted going into this after both the Lotties went. So... And, like, every single Tier 1 Mega actually got picked, like, within the first 2 rounds, except for Sableye, Venusaur, and Charizard X. And I didn't want to use Charizard X again. Plus, I have a Cinderace, so why would I get Charizard X? So, yeah, I ended up grabbing Mega Aggron, which complements this Pokemon really well. I really wanted a very, very solid Steel-type early. I love getting solid Steel-types early on in drafts. Waiting on a Steel-type, I think, kind of screws you, because you kind of need all of the resistances that come with the type, so... This thing's very, very solid. Very, very hard-bodied. Like, it checks some of the biggest threats you can think of that are physical. Stuff like Zygarde get checked by this, and that's fucking crazy. DD, Dragapult gets checked by this. Kartana gets fucking stonewalled by this thing. It can. Melmetal, Rillaboom, which I have. So it's nice to have one of the best Rillaboom answers to me. Yeah, and I guess it probably can take a V-Create. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. And Zero Aura, that's the other one I was thinking of. So, just an insane physical threat. And all you need is max HP to be able to take those things. Filter is one of the best defensive abilities on this thing. It's a nice ability for this thing. Steel is weak to the two really common... hey, Mumford. Really common attacking types, being ground and fighting. So Filter helps deal with that, especially because those two are typically physical types. And then, obviously, you have the fire weakness being reduced with this thing's lower Spadef is kind of good. So, as a Steel-type Mega, it is one of, I want to say 3, and it's the second best of the 3. It's what, Scizor, this, and Steelix, right? Unless there's another one I'm missing, which I don't think there is. Legal, anyway. I don't think there's, actually, I don't even think there's an illegal. Oh, no, Lucario, yeah. So yeah, this is better than Steelix, I think, very, very easily, especially with Body Press now. They both have Body Press, but this thing is tankier, so I like this mon a lot. It was my first ever Mega I used in Draft League format, actually, and I've liked using it. I've used it a couple times since then, and yeah, this is another one of those times. Up next we have Crocodile. I wanted a solid ground and then like a ghost check, and like I didn't know. I was looking through tier 2 and I was like, I haven't used Crocodile in a while. I was looking at I want to say Donphan in this slot, and then I realized, Donphan's a bit boring. I want to use something I've used before but haven't in a while, and like tier 2s that are available. I was thinking about getting Empoleon with this pick, but I think that was gone by then. And then, like, maybe... don't even know what else. Maybe a Alolan Mach, I guess. Raikou was the other one, Raikou. But in the end, I went with this because, yeah, I was really looking at Raikou, actually. Raikou would have been good. Or I was looking at Raikou because it would have been good for my team. The speed being nice and stuff, and bulky waters aren't thrilled dealing with a Raikou. But I went with Crocodile because, A, it's been like 4 years since I've last drafted this Pokemon, and that was on my MSL team, and I went 2-9 with a fucking Scolipede, Mega Gallade, Celesteela, with Speed Pass legal. But I also, sorry, brain fart. I just wanted to use this mod. It's a nice physical breaker, and it pairs really well with Cinderace, I feel like. And it gives me some nice resistances, and it's another really solid rocker. Yeah, speed tier is good. It's strong. You have to invest in the bulk for it to be really bulky, but still, having an Intimidator is nice, especially paired with Glorges. Yeah, it makes my stuff a bit bulkier, so that's good. Next, I wanted a little more hazard removal and then like extra speed. They're really, again, like I was at a point where like I was looking through these tiers 2 and 3, and it was like the stuff that I want is getting taken. I don't know how much I really want the mons here that aren't being taken. So, and then this is a mon I like using a lot, and that's Crobat, especially with boots. This thing's a lot better of a hazard remover. The speed tier is amazing. You got Nasty Bat, you got Band Bat, you got bulky ass Bat, you got Super Fangs, got Roost. Very fast taunt. U-turn is one of the best moves in the game, obviously. Yeah, good momentum, but then this thing can also just be an offensive threat on its own. So I like this mon a lot, actually. I really like using this thing. It just does so much in one team slot, and it's actually surprisingly bulky. Its HP stat is pretty high, to be honest, for what you'd expect out of this thing. And because the speed doesn't really need to be invested too heavily in a lot of matchups, you can kind of just get away with running like this much. You want to creep a base 100, let's say, down to this much speed, and then boom, you have enough for this, and then like the rest in HP, and then suddenly you have a really tanky bat that nobody really wants to switch into. So yeah, it's just a typical thing with this speed tier, and I really love this thing's speed tier a lot. It's the fastest thing on my team, obviously. I did not end up getting Excelgor. Obviously, I can't get Mega Arrow. No Electrode on this team, sadly, but or Ninjask, because Ninjask was tier 4, and I don't want that. Speed Pass is banned, by the way, but that mon's just naturally, I think, okay, actually. I think that one's fine now. Yeah, pretty bulky, and a ground immunity, which I was really, really looking for. So, next we have an Haunted iPhone. I didn't know what electric type I really wanted to grab at all. I was looking at Boltund, but I decided that I would want this because A, its value as a tier 5 is really immense. Like, what you get out of a tier 5 Rotom, even with cut moves gone, you get a spin blocker, decent speed tier, you get an electric type that can clear hazards for you, split. It can still run a defensive set with like a Colbur Berry, even though it's frail as hell. It can tank a hit and burn something for you, and that can definitely come in clutch. It doesn't really ever get set up on by physical threats because of foul play access. The momentum's really nice. It's a good Scarfer. You get a really valuable secondary typing, like I said, in Ghost. Like, this is just a solid Pokemon, and then a decent ground immunity on top of all that. So, I was looking at tier 5, and this looked like one of the mons that supplied me with the best value. I wanted something with decent momentum and a good speed tier. While this thing isn't exactly strong, it's not exactly, the Ghost typing is good enough to where people are just going to have trouble switching into it anyway. Unless they have a mon with natural special bulk or a really solid normal type. Speaking of really solid normal types, because this is a Pokemon Legends Arceus draft, Ursaring has a Violet access, and this thing is tier 4. I feel like tier 3 is probably where it belongs, but we'll see. I'll see if I can make good use out of it. A status absorber was something I really wanted going into this next upcoming round, and I was looking at Hariyama, and I was looking at Greedent as a tier 5 normal type, but I wanted to combine both roles, and then I noticed Ursaring was still there. I thought that it got taken a while ago, and I thought it was still tier 3 because it was last season. It got moved down because nobody really picked it, so I'm picking it, and we'll see how this thing does for me on my team. I don't know who picked it in Division 1, but I can check that later, I guess, just for my own curiosity. But yeah, this thing, very solid. There were a couple of other normal types I was looking at with momentum, being Braviary and Type Null. Type Null would have probably been my more likely candidate to take over Braviary, because I was looking at getting another flying type from tier 4, but then I probably would have just gotten Regirock instead of what I got, I guess, or something, instead of Minior, because you can see Minior right there. I'm not stupid. I know you can see that. But yeah, I just got Ursaring because it's a really solid status absorber. And with a Violite, I feel like this thing's going to hit like a truck if it switches in on a Will-O-Wisp and then just be like really fat and like hard to deal with. So yeah, and I can still run the gut sets, believe it or not. Like, its stats are still good enough to where I don't need to run a Violite every week. But a Violite on this thing is pretty crazy, like on a Doublade. But Doublade pretty much always runs a Violite because you don't really need any other item. I guess Band would be good on it. And yeah, so up next I got Minior because I wanted another Stealth Rocker. My flying resistances weren't the best, but I also didn't want to be too weak to fighting. So Minior was like the middle ground, and then obviously another ground immunity never hurts. I am developing a little bit of an ice weakness and a water weakness. My last pick tries to patch up the former, but not the latter. The water weakness is a bit prevalent, and I might want to pick something else up as the season goes along to help mitigate that. Maybe kick somebody off the team. The most likely candidate is probably Minior for that, to be honest. But yeah, I actually think this mon is really solid, and it's another very, very good offensive threat, obviously, because Shell Smash is fucking stupid. Like, that's such a stupid move. It's so funny. It's such a funny move. It's another rocker, and I got momentum, and then a screen setter. So, like, this fits a lot of utility into one slot, but obviously it's Shell Smash. It's just Shell Smash, right? Just Shell Smash. But yeah, I like this mon a lot. I've picked it like once or twice before, and I thought it was in a prime position to be taken. Tier 4 Minior, I think that's good value. For the pick, it's a very solid threat. So, and then finally, this was initially a Glaceon because I wanted a little bit more, another Cleric. I wanted another Healbeller, and I wanted something to be able to pass wishes besides Florges. But then I realized Glaceon isn't really the best for that. Plus, I actually have a Psychic weakness, which is like the first time I can say that in a while. And so I decided to patch that up with a Galarian Mr. Mime. The extra hazard removal is nice, and this thing gets momentum. And multi-stat pass is actually legal as long as you're not passing speed. So you can pass Calm Minds, Bulk Ups, I believe Curses, but I'll have to ask again. So yeah, this thing's just really solid. And it can pass Nasty Plots, and then like its speed tier is like better because I didn't have a 100 before this. I like having a base 100 on my team somewhere if I can fit it. It's pretty strong if you specs it. It's a decent Scarfer, and obviously Ice. It gets Freeze Dry. It's an Ice type of Freeze Dry, which was another reason I actually really wanted Glaceon, but I ended up dropping it for this because of the hazard removal and the Psychic resistance. So, and the speed, obviously. So yeah, that's my team. For one final little rundown, this team I think is really solid. The defensive core is a bit it's a bit momentum sinky. But I still think I have mons that can viably run either a defensive or offensive set. So, like, Aggron, for example, and Crook, as well as Florges actually can run a decent offensive set. Like a Scarf Florges fucks people up the ass sometimes. And then there was one more mon that could... And then, like, I think actually Rillaboom can be a good defensive Pokemon. Crobat can go either way as well. Ursaring, and I guess you can probably run a bulky thing. Like, a lot of my offensive mons have the versatility to go bulky, at least. The only exceptions, I think, are Cinderace and, I guess, Rotom. But I've still run defensive sets with Rotom before, and I had it at least burn something while taking a hit, and then hexing something for decent damage. So, alright, final rundown. Thank you for watching, by the way. I'm putting up with my crap. Cinderace, Rillaboom, Rillaboom, and then Keldeo, Florges, Mega Aggron, Crocodile, Crobat, Rotom, Ursaring, Minior, and Mr. Mime Galarian form. So, I actually really like this team. I think it looks really threatening on paper. I've used like half of these mons before I've used this. I used this before it got Grassy Glide in the IPL season. It was pretty underwhelming, but now that it has Glide, it's really fucking broken. I was underwhelming. It was really bulky and strong, but, like, the speed tier was weird, I guess. Keldeo, which I've used before. I've used Florges. I've used Aggron. I've used Crook. I've used Crobat. I've used Rotom. Never used Ursaring. Actually, I've used everything on my team except Ursaring and Mime throughout a full season. I guess I haven't used Minior because that league I had it died. I had it and died. Yeah. I didn't use this through a full season. I traded it halfway through, I guess, as well. So yeah, that's my team. I think it's actually kind of busted. It looks pretty solid on paper. So thanks for watching. Here's a little Froakie. He has Reddit gold in his veins. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Week 1. I'm actually uploading this before my Week 1 battle, believe it or not, for once. Bye-bye. Take care.